Hey, this is Will from Going Out Some Places. Well, you guys know I'm a bit of an organization super freak, so I thought what I'd do with today's video is basically show you my toiletry organizers. Yes, I know, not exactly the most glamorous thing out there, but toiletry organizers are pretty key when you're packing. So I've gone through several over the years. I got the Uniqlo one over here, North Face canister, and finally Sea to Summit. So let me review each one and tell you which one you should definitely consider on your next trip. So we all know that there are a lot of toiletry organizers out there. There are a lot of different options. Each has their pros and cons. Some are better than others. Some are bigger, some are smaller, some are more versatile, some are more specific in terms of their use. So what do you even choose? So I thought this video would be a good opportunity for me to go through the 3 different toiletry organizers that I've owned over the past couple years for various trips. So I'll go through each one and I'll let you decide which one best suits the trip that you're going on. All right, so the first one I want to start off with is the Muji travel organizer. So Muji is a Japanese company. They have retail stores all over North America. All around the world actually, and they create this really good toiletry organizer. This is their smaller size. I found them probably 5 or 6 years ago, and this was the first one I ever owned. So it was one that I really pushed to the limits because I used this all over Asia when I first started blogging actually in 2012. So this one, what I really love about it is really because it's very versatile, it's spacious, and can store pretty much everything that I threw at it. So the best part and the one main thing you're going to look at for toiletry organizers is the hook. And you won't think it's a big deal, but it actually is, because if you're staying at a hostel or you're staying at a hotel even, it's nice to be able to not have this sitting on the counter, sitting on some dirty counter at the hostel, or even at the hotel. You just want it hanging where your towel is. Makes it really easy. Things are much more accessible that way. So this is pretty key. So don't buy toiletry organizers without a hanger. This is pretty much bare minimum in terms of an organizer that you're looking for. So actually, before I begin, all this stuff in front of me, these are kind of the standard toiletry items that I bring with me on every trip. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but for the most part, it's all the things I want. And so when I look at an organizer, I want to make sure that there are a lot of compartments. And so this one definitely does. You have your top compartment here, which is zippered. And you'll notice that a big trend for organizers is that everything is a bit see-through. So once you open it up, you want to be able to see all the items inside. And so that's pretty key, I find, because you don't want to be putting your hand in, rummaging inside to find what you're looking for. It should be pretty obvious and evident once you open it up. So you got your mesh top that's zippered. You got a secret little compartment here. You can notice right here, so you can open it up. So something goes in here. And then you got the main pocket inside. And so this one is great because, first of all, like I said, it's see-through. This is zippered, so you can put something in here. What's cool about the Muji bag is that they all have these elastic loops. I don't know if you can see, but these elastic loops allow you to put travel-sized liquids. So anything from shampoo, conditioner, all that good stuff, you can put them inside. And then you got side pockets. These side pockets are very useful as well, kind of for the same reason. You can stash different liquids like this, put them on the side. Maybe you got some gel, you can put it in there and it'll stay put. And so that's important because once you open the bag, everything should be where you expect it to be. But when you travel, you know, you're putting it in your carry-on or your checked-in luggage. It's gonna flip and turn and do all sorts of things. So this stuff is really important. Things that you might not think about when you're looking for a toiletry organizer. So I can quickly load this thing up. But I will say that what I didn't quite like as much about the Muji is that the fabric itself is synthetic, but it's the kind that isn't super easy to wash. So it is fabric-y, so it does soak in any sort of leaking that could happen. And that actually happens a lot because of pressure changes for your flight. Things like shampoo, conditioner, they're bound to explode. No matter how much I am obsessive about making sure everything's tight, it always happens. So over the years, like, it's gotten pretty dirty, I guess. So what can you do? So again, if I can pack this real quick, I can show you like all these little elastic loops come in handy. I can just kind of slot them in. And meds and things I could put on the side. These top pockets are great because I can just store meds and things like that. Really handy. So I know all my meds are here at the top. I can put these probably in a different compartment. And, you know, toothbrush and toothpaste, thermometer, got that. This is actually very spacious, which is what I loved about the Muji. And again, it keeps things organized. Japanese know a thing or two about being organized, right? And then put that in here. And the other thing is, what you'll notice here in the back is that there's an open pocket here. It's not zippered, but you can put things like wet naps. I got here. I got Band-Aids as well. Band-Aids can be put here. And this thing is so big that I can actually put my shaver in as well. So I just put it up here at the top. And then I'm just going to close up the zipper. And there you have it. This is everything packed together. This is, again, the Muji travel organizer. I think they're on a different iteration now, but it's more or less the same. So yeah, check this out. Go to your local Muji, or you can buy it online as well, but very good. So this is the first one I ever owned. Then you have my second one I bought. So gear lust, every traveler goes through it. You always want to make sure, you're always looking for kind of the gear that you don't have, the better thing that's out there. And so I somehow got hooked into North Face, and I was looking at their base camp canister bags. These are the large canister bags that you go trekking with. But I saw that they had these cool little miniature ones right here. And so I thought this would be a really cool organizer. It's really rugged. It's obviously been tested through the ringer with anything that's from North Face. Just seemed kind of neat. Definitely really more fell in love because of the brand. But it did add some new features that I liked. So this is the black large size North Face canister toiletry bag. And so with this bag, the outer shell is this kind of synthetic, not porous material. It's fully smooth, and so it's fully water repellent, I would say, waterproof on the top here. On the sides, it has these kind of loops, although I don't know what you'd use it for, maybe to hook in a carabiner. I think this design comes from the original bag. The bottom is fabric, but you'll see on the inside that it's kind of that waterproof material on the inside that coats it. So one zipper that goes through on the top, and that's what opens and closes it. So really just one massive compartment. And so with this guy, what I liked was, one, of course, has to have the loop. You turn it around. You got the mirror as well. So if you're in a hostel or like a cabin or something like that, you always have access to a mirror, which is nice. I know the ladies love that. I've found it handy as well. You can tuck it away, and then you got a bunch of different compartments, right? So you have a top compartment here, which is fully open. You have a zippered section, which is meshed at the top, similar to the Muji. You got a little pocket here, which is attached to the primary body. If you can look down here, this is where I usually store things like my toothbrush, toothpaste, long tubular type things. You got these elastic loops, which I sometimes use for my toothbrush, but oftentimes it was a bit too much work to kind of stick it back in. And then you got this big, large compartment. And so the trade-off that I had with this one against the Muji was that it was a lot bigger. And actually, this is a lot bigger than I expected. When I bought it, I thought I was getting the small size, which would be closer to the width of this. But this is actually much wider. You can see that, right? This one gives me a lot of space, but it's a little less organized. You got the pocket here, you got the top part, but then the rest is just this open compartment. So you kind of just chuck everything inside, things roll around and it kind of gets a little messy. You get some explosions, which is why it's really good that it has a much more durable fabric, I would say. This fabric is kind of that waterproof fabric, so it doesn't get soaked into the material itself, so it's much easier to clean, which is what I liked about this North Face canister. Obviously it looks great. It's got loops on the top and the bottom, but that's pretty much it. There's no other compartments on the outside. It's really simple. It is literally a canister, but you can put a lot of stuff inside. So I'm not going to show you how I load this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just dump everything inside and you use some of the compartments where you can. So third toiletry organizer is one by Sea to Summit. So Sea to Summit, I've known them for a long time. They make really awesome gear, and they're really known for using the Cordura brand of fabric. I don't know if you can see here, Cordura. And Cordura is really awesome. I have it on my wallet, my travel wallet. And it's a very durable material. It's also very, very light. So it can handle anything, but it's super thin. It's water repellent, and it's very light, right? Easy to clean as well. So everything that you ask for in travel material versus this is, I would say, a little bit heavy because it is that thick, non-porous, waterproof, rubbery material. You got the fabrics here. This one is special because it uses Cordura. And so when I bought this, I realized that it is a lot smaller. So if you compare it to this, it's a little bit wider, but it's definitely not as tall, and definitely not as deep, right? But I figured in terms of toiletries, wanting to downsize, this is gonna force me to downsize all the stuff that I bring with me on my trips. But it's everything that I need. I think the only thing I'd be sacrificing is the shaver, which I wouldn't be able to put in, but that's cool. We could put it outside in my backpack or my carry-on or check-in or whatever it is. So of course, mandatory, you got the hook. So the hook is there, and the whole thing is this awesome fabric, Cordura, like I mentioned. And even when I'm holding this, this is incredibly light. Of course, there's something in here, but if I compare these two, this is massive, this is a lot smaller, and this is heavier, this is lighter. And what I liked about this one, it's kind of a balance of these two. This one has a lot of organization, this one's really large and has good material. It is a bit heavier, this is smaller. This one's a balance of the two, right? The Sea to Summit one. So at the top, you have your two zippered pockets. Again, it's mesh, so you can kind of see what's inside, right? And then you have a top or main compartment section right here. So you can put all sorts of things in here like toothbrush and whatnot. And then you have the main compartment rather. And this is where you put everything else, all your other liquids. There are no elastic loops like in this, where you'd be able to kind of secure things in place. But because it's such a small package, I feel like if you stand everything up inside here, you'll be good to go. This one has a mirror, and a much larger mirror, so that's kind of nice. And you can bring that out if you need to, so you can hang it up like that. Or if you don't want it, you just kind of tuck it away, and no mirror. And the last thing with this organizer is that it has a back compartment as well. So this back compartment has zippers, right? So it's zippered, which is nice, so it keeps things nice and secure. And there's an extra section for other things. So again, similar to what I did with the Muji here, I put in my wet naps, Band-Aids and things like that I want quick access to at any time. You could put meds back here as well, but then, yeah, usually I want it on the inside. But anyways, this is the perfect compartment for just your other stuff that you don't want with your liquids primarily. It's got a nice top handle, which is good. So this one comes out to be pretty compact. And so that is what I wanted to show you guys today. So 3 different toiletry bags, all a little different. Each has their pros and cons. I would say probably the North Face is the most expensive. It's hard to find as well. I found that not a lot of places stocked it. And then in terms of sizes, you know, unknowingly getting the large when I really wanted the small. This is probably the most expensive. These two are around the same price range. Maybe this is, I think this was the cheapest one. This is probably in the middle somewhere. I got this at REI, but you can pick it up on Amazon. Again, Sea to Summit makes really awesome products. This is by Muji. This is by North Face. So I hope you enjoyed. That was really a first look at the toiletry organizers, toiletry bags that are out on the market if you're looking for the perfect one for your trip. But again, to recap, you want a bag that has a hook. That's pretty much the main thing you're looking for. You're also looking for a bag that has easy to access pockets. So a lot of pockets and pockets that you can see through. So mesh is very popular, and being able to open up and know exactly where you can get your stuff. And so compartmentalization is important with these organizers, and having different sections on the inside, on the outside. And I would also say material matters as well. So material that is easy to wash, easy to clean, because you're gonna get spillages. And finally, just overall package size in terms of dimensions, but also in terms of weight and just durability as well. So for my next trip, I'm going to be using the Sea Summit, which I'm really excited about. So I'll definitely have more feedback as I use this for an upcoming trip. But that is it. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave a comment on the channel, on this video. Make sure you subscribe as well. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time on Going Awesome Places.